Thank you, Speaker. I rise today to speak in support of this bill. Speaker, the Endangered Species Act is a deeply flawed piece of legislation, no matter which way you look at it. It fails to accomplish its goals of protecting endangered species and their habitat, and the public have lost faith in it, if they ever had faith in it to begin with. In the North, there was widespread opposition to the Endangered Species Act as municipalities, First Nations, chambers of commerce, and industry organizations alike spoke out against it. In their wisdom, these organizations saw the potential problems coming down the pipe, and they sent a loud and clear message, but they were ignored when it was passed. Speaker, the failure to consult and listen are in the past. We need to put aside any differences we have and move forward. And the best way to move forward for endangered species, the people of Ontario, the environment, and industry is to pass today's amendment. Very simply, we need to do the right thing. Too often, this House becomes consumed with grandstanding, where the image is more important than the action. We have people in this House who are more concerned about their political lives or their party than doing what is right. And when that occurs, it is a shameful state of affairs. Whether it's grandstanding over Orange or other scandals, needlessly adjourning debate on important issues to prove a political point, or selectively reading passages of letters and correspondence to make it seem like there is support for your bill when there really isn't. In the 6 months that I've been here, I've seen a lot of actions that have sold the people of this province short. We are here to serve the public and represent their views and their aspirations, not to have a shouting match over which political party has done this or done that. There's so much focus on passing blame or getting credit that it appears that many MPPs have lost sight of the fact of why they're here, and that's to make the right decisions. Passing this amendment is the right decision. Some who ignore what is actually happening may decry this amendment as an attack on the environment and the Endangered Species Act because they're more concerned with the headlines than the substance. The Endangered Species Act, as it currently stands, is hurting endangered species because while the option is open to consider the socioeconomic factors, in practice this is not happening. Instead, what's happening is people are not reporting endangered species. They are terrified because they know if they do, the Ministry of Natural Resources will swoop in and declare their area off limits. Rather than work with the property owner, they will say, you can't touch this place. We heard from my colleague who introduced the bill of the travesty of what happened with Ducks Unlimited, where Ducks Unlimited, a conservation group, was told that their conservation project had to stop because an endangered species was nesting in their area. You would think that that would be a benefit to the endangered species and the environment, but nevertheless, this is just an example of how this act is not being implemented properly. There's no wonder why the people in this province have lost faith in this act. So what happens when an endangered species shows up on the scene? Rather than being seen as a blessing or a miracle, hardworking families are left to worry about the future of their businesses, such as farms or tourist operations. Instead of working with the M&R to find a cooperative solution that allows the businesses to coexist peacefully with the endangered species, people are being forced to pick between putting food on the table and saving the species. I would hope that I don't have to tell any of you what they're deciding. It's a pretty grim choice to make. And it's happening that some people are using phrases such as shooting, shoveling, and shutting up, and that's not helping anybody, especially not the endangered species that this act was intended to support and protect. That's the problem, and that's why this private member's bill is trying to sort out. And I'm not going to allow partisan politics to get in the way of the right thing. I congratulate and thank the member from the PC party for bringing this bill forward because it opens the door to dialogue, and that's what we need. We need a government that's willing to work with the property owners and the businesses to find solutions, not dictate closures. We need a government that's willing to enter a dialogue about compensation. We need to give the public confidence that if an endangered species shows up on their farm or at their tourist operation, or even at their home, they can call and report it. That they can work with the government to find positive solutions, and that's what this amendment does. Even the Environmental Commissioner of Ontario has stated very clearly that while well-intentioned, the Endangered Species Act is not being properly implemented. The amendment isn't putting business or industry ahead of the environment, it's simply saying that all parties need to be included in the dialogue. The fact is, if we really care about endangered species, we will make this positive amendment that will allow businesses and families in the north and across the province to buy into the act. This bill needs to pass. Thank you.
Thank you.